So, anxiety, it's pretty rife in these times, that's for sure. It already was an epidemic within society, and then with coronavirus, and certainly the feeling of like the ground being taken away underneath our feet has certainly heightened anxiety for a lot of people. So, I wanted just to go through a few practices that we can do, both for calming and really grounding anxiety, because it has got a particular energy. First of all, I'd like to say it's great if you can do this practice out in nature. Not that it, doesn't mean you can do it, you can't do it like sort of anywhere else, but if you can find a really nice, spot to be in, then that's going to make it easier. And even though you don't want to rely on it being easy all the time, part of the reason I sort of argue that for people to do cultivation in nature is that once we have that really deep sense in our body of just how or what real relaxation and what real grounding really feels like, then we're more able to use those neural pathways again to be able to come back to that sense one more time. So definitely very beneficial. Also from the perspective of grounding, if you think about it, like, let's just say that the fact that we have energy is not just a metaphorical thing. Like, let's just say that we actually do really have an energy body. The notion of grounding is that energy is flowing into the ground, and there's plenty of traditions, practices, theories, philosophies that talk about the fact that we are actually in constant exchange of energy, and that connection of the heaven to the earth, or the skies to the earth, however you want to talk about it, is really important in terms of being able to let go of energy that can get kind of trapped. So, if you think about what's the energy of anxiety, what does it feel like? We're all kind of like, we're all up here. And it's very much like, you can see it in people's bodies. It's sort of like everything's happening up here, and it's very disharmonious. It's like, it's not smooth. It's kind of erratic kind of energy that's bouncing around. So what we sort of aim to do in this practice is to enable that energy both to ground, which is getting rid of the excess nervous energy, but also it's sort of like centering and stabilizing. So it's bringing that incoherent, disjointed energy sort of back into a level of flow and consistency. So that has the effect of calming us as well. Okay, so this is just a really simple grounding meditation. So you can do it sitting, you can also do it standing. There's benefits to doing it standing, and we'll probably do that in a different video specifically on a grounding qigong. But for this, it's just going to be really simple meditation. So if you want to do it seated, that's fine. If you can be sitting, I'm sitting on a nice bit of granite rock like we find in the Perth Hills. But you can also do it seated in a chair with your feet planted on the floor, or anywhere that's comfortable. So you can find whatever position you like. It's fine if you do it eyes open or eyes closed. Eyes closed can be a little bit easier when you're trying to tune into internal sensations, but as that gets easier and you want to start to bring it into life and do it while you're standing in line at the supermarket or whatever, then you can also practice it with your eyes open. Anyway, wherever you like to be, it's always nice to try to get a nice straight spine. That always helps. And we also, because our breathing's so related to what our nervous system is doing, it's really important that you make sure that your diaphragm's free. So try not to sit kind of slunched over, because that's causing, just out of camera, causing contraction in my diaphragm if I sit like this. So make sure you sit nice and open and expansive, because let's face it, if anxiety causes us to sort of come in like this to try to protect ourselves, or that's what's sort of going on in the physiology, then try to help yourself by just coming into a nice open, relaxed, letting the shoulders melt kind of posture. And that's already going a long way to giving your nervous system signals that you're in a situation where you can be relaxed. So it does go both ways. So once you've got your position sorted, just sort of tune into where you are. I always like to remind myself that, you know, I'm here in this earth, not simply kind of floating around with thoughts in my head. So, you know, feel what's underneath your sit bones. If you're outside, you might feel the air on your cheek. Take in, you know, if we can find a little bit of gratitude for a bit of beauty that's around us. Like I'm sort of sitting in this beautiful grove of Christmas trees. That's also a nice way to lay the foundation for the practice. And then once you're ready, just begin your inquiry into what's going on internally by turning your gaze internal. Just letting your mind just rest on the breath. Not trying to do anything in particular with your breath, just observe. And then if your breath is feeling quite constricted, then you might like to just encourage it to become that little bit slower and that little bit deeper and more rhythmic. And instead of being deeper by filling up the chest, imagine it becoming deeper by filling up all the way from the pelvic floor. And just notice how nice that feels. Then we're just going to take a scan through our body, noticing any areas of tension. So starting from the head, just coming down through the head, through the shoulders, noticing either where it feels tight or tense in your muscles, which is where we normally think about tension. But also if you notice, you know, just some sort of indescribable feeling of a little bit of like heavy energy, or something that might feel a bit discombobulated. It can be kind of non-specific, so it might be related to a muscle, but it also might just be in your energy body, and it doesn't matter to work it out exactly what that is. Just notice what you notice. Moving down through the torso. Seeing if you can notice any tension in your internal organs, so around the heart, the lungs, the stomach. Maybe you notice some funny butterfly sensations, or even feel a bit of tight, constricted kind of nausea. And through all the rest of your digestive system. And coming down to the legs. Now don't leave out the legs. Part of the reason that we can end up with too much energy buzzing around our upper half is because we don't maintain awareness of the fullness of our body, and our energy flows where the mind goes. So let your body scan go down into the lower half of your body, through the legs, through those big muscles, all the way down to your feet. And as you're down there, just pay attention to your contact points with the earth, whether that's through your feet, if you're standing up or sitting in a chair, or through your sit bones and any of the fleshy parts that make contact with the earth. And let your awareness rest there for a little while. As we grow our awareness with these contact points, we're letting the energy start to move towards those parts that are facilitating the grounding. You might like to visualize those points of contact starting to sort of grow roots and sinking down into the earth. And they grow thicker and stronger. See the thick cord of energy running down your spine, extending and connecting down into those roots. So that your whole body is grounded from the head all the way to the earth. And now start to go back to those places of tension, maintaining a bit of awareness on that grounding connection. Find those places in your body that are feeling a bit tense or tight or out of whack. And start to use your intention to let that just flow down to the earth. If it's high up around your head or your chest, let it touch into that main central cord of energy, the central channel, and see it all just flow down to the earth. Like our main channel of energy is acting like a lightning rod, kind of attracting all these bits of tense energy, and they're coming in and down. You can see all this excess energy as a gift to the earth, letting the massive field of the earth transmute it and use it in ways that are helpful, because it's not good for us, but it's all energy that can be used for good somewhere. Just feeling everything fall away, flow down to the earth, and leaving you feeling relaxed and open. All the muscles loose, make it a warm feeling. Always try to finish your practice really anchoring into the positive feeling that you want. So after a grounding and calming little meditation, you might like to do another scan of the body, but this time infusing it with warm, smiling, loosening energy. I really find for me that giving myself the cue of openness and expandedness really helps kind of lift the feeling of tension in my shoulders and let it all kind of fall away. And take a moment to appreciate the benefits of the practice and just place a little intention out there that this grounded, calm feeling carries forward with you into whatever you're doing next. So I hope you enjoyed that. It's just a really simple practice. We're going to have quite a lot more of this kind of thing on Conversations of Transition, or on transition, or whatever I'm calling it, so that we can really cultivate ourselves in a way that enables us to be an instrument of transition, and so that we can build our personal resiliency for whatever happens next. And hey, nothing else happens next. It just enables us to enjoy life more, and there's nothing wrong with that.